So it's interesting, and Lewis, you know that program as well as anybody does. What is your expectation about what that offense will look like and how effective it will be in the absence of probably its most dynamic piece?
Yeah, I think structurally, Greeny, it'll look the same because they have a DNA, they have a methodology, they have a philosophy that Andy Reid has brought with him, and he's continually tweaked during his time in Kansas City, and that won't change. They will still be a primarily 11 personnel type of team. They'll run some 12 personnel. They'll get in their trips 3-by-1 sets. They'll run the same kind of cover 3 beaters out of their 3-by-1s that they've always run. They'll run their same kind of boot game action off of out of 12 personnel. They'll do the same things. It's just that now, in terms of how they replace Tyreek Hill's production, that's not going to be a one-for-one swap. They're not going to expect to bring in one person and then have him be 100-plus catch type of guy. It'll be by committee, and they will utilize Juju Smith-Schuster's ability to work the middle of the field at a very high clip and at a very effective clip in a way that they really haven't had someone do that at the wide receiver position thus far. They'll use MVS on the third level, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, as far as a field stretcher on the outside, and someone who they can also put on the inside at the slot position the same way they did Tyreek. So they will mix and match, and they will continue to come up with the kind of chunk plays that they have become known for. And don't forget this. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have the draft. They still have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks in this draft. So, look, Brett Veach, the general manager down there, knows what he needs to do in order to keep this offense humming along. But make no mistake, Tyreek is one of one. But also make no mistake about this. They found him late in the draft. I'm not going to say that they're going to find another guy 5th round and lower that will have the kind of production that he had. But this is a position that I think historically you have been able to find great surplus value, meaning performance value relative to cost, throughout the draft and in the later rounds. And I think they will do that once again this year down in Kansas City.
Mike, how are they handling the draft? Would you expect them to take a receiver? Lewis just mentioned they have 2 first-round picks. We expect 6, maybe 7 receivers in round 1. Do you think Kansas City takes one, Mike?
Absolutely, and I think the verb is scour. You look at this list here, Greeny, there's a lot of really good receivers. And if they come out of this with Jamison Williams, they arguably have a chance of being better because I think he's that explosive when he returns from his ACL. But as Lewis mentioned, when you think about Juju Smith-Schuster, Valdez-Scantling, and you add a receiver, they'll be different than they were a year ago, but they have 2 running backs, and Ronald Jones, who has 76 receptions, Edwards-Helaire, who has 55. So I think they draft a receiver. They have running backs who can catch. So I think this offense will still be a very formidable one this season.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.